teaching your dad to shoot yet?
We up and running?
Or is he still out?
Okay, we're going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. Minutes and reports received and filed.
We have the Sheriff's June 2015 fees filed.
Okay. Commissioner Committee liaison reports, upcoming meetings.
Planning Commission night, Board of Directors for Realtors tomorrow, Campo Board of Directors tomorrow, Chamber Connections Thursday, and quarterly reports are due tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got, not much. Then y'all gonna add to it, aren't you?
I don't know that I have much. Go ahead, Sam, if you got anything.
I've got Cap Region Executive Board meeting tomorrow morning. Thursday's Traffic and Safety Advisory Board at 8 o'clock. That's all I've got.
Do we have a BOE meeting on Monday, or do we know
I have
yet?
down for Thursday and Friday.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah,
I kind of had the whole week blocked
Yeah.
out, so I didn't know. And then that Juvenile Court Advisory Board meeting is Monday. Right?
Who's that for?
Just their quarterly meeting or something.
Oh, that's when we had the letter on our desk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I briefly saw it.
Okay.
All you got?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm going to call on Rich Kuhn. Rich is a friend of mine. He was in the store, and I try to keep track of what he's doing. He works with a lot of the youth on firearm safety, and he said, you know, the Missouri 4-H shooting team took national championship this year. And he said there's 4 young people from Cole County that were on that team. So I said, well, why don't you bring them to the commission meeting and let's introduce them and just congratulate you. And then John Beadham, I saw the judge here, I think, is also one of our instructors. So, but Rich, would you like to tell us a little bit more about it and then introduce our young...
Where would you like me?
Come up here and talk into the microphone. It doesn't record, or it doesn't amplify, but it just records.
Okay. Every year there is a national 4-H championship, and what happens is in Missouri, the shooters from the different counties try out for the state team. Only 4 make the state team, and there's 9 different events. So you have a total of 36 shooters, kids from Missouri, going to the national championships. This year it was held in Grand Island, Nebraska. Cole County sent 4, which, if you do rough math, is over 10% of the state team. This year, something sort of unusual happened. The state team took first in the nation, beating the perennial favorite Texas. We always enjoy beating Texas. Last time that happened was 2010 or 2011. Which year was it? 2011. So, I mean, Missouri's usually second, so this year they beat Texas by a significant margin. But anyway, the 4 shooters who probably know more about it than I do since I wasn't there, why don't we introduce them. On the end we have Jake Tanner. Why don't you come up here?
Come on up here, Jake.
Jake shot small bore rifle. Then we have Cole Sandboothy, who shot compound archery. Then we have Leanna Schwartz, who shot small bore pistol, .22 pistol, and Joey Conway,
Over here, Rich.
who shot a small bore pistol, .22 pistol. So they did a real good job. So bringing home first in the nation, being national champions, is always great. So why don't I just turn it over to you, and you can ask him about anything you want to.
Did you bring him the sign-up sheets for Sheriff's Department, Greg?
No, we just want to congratulate you and thank you for representing Cole County too, you know, as much as the state of Missouri. So we're proud of you. You got anything, Jeff?
Which 4-H clubs are y'all in? I mean, I know there's different ones, Wardsville, St. Thomas, Wardsville, and then you were the, which one's that? Eugene? Brazil. I mean, it was out there somewhere.
Great.
Yeah, it's neat.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Great job. guys don't need to stay if you don't want to, so, you can if you like, but,
No heckling though.
Okay, our next thing, we have a presentation of commendation. Sheriff?
Just one comment before we get started. Thank you all for upholding a fine American tradition that's very unique to us and doing what you do. Yeah, and literally supporting the Second Amendment by doing so. Well, why don't you two come on up? A couple of comments while they're coming up. You know, sometimes you see deputies, you see law enforcement officers anywhere, and if you think about it, they've raised their hand, they've sworn to uphold the U.S. Constitution, the Missouri Constitution, and the revised statutes of the state of Missouri. What they're really saying to you is that they're willing to value their life less than those they're sworn to protect. They're willing to stand between evil that would come against our good citizens, and they did that day. So, John, you're first in line, so I'll do yours first. Deputy John Strobel, letter of commendation. On 28 May 2015 at 09:28 hours, an alleged armed robbery was called in at Subway in downtown Jefferson City, Missouri. You quickly responded to the rear of the business. Subsequently, you teamed with Officer Rubio of Jeff City Police Department and Sergeant Sean Gershner of our agency. Pursuant to Officer Rubio observing the suspect, you and Sergeant Gershner made entry with Officer Rubio. The rear door was unlocked. The suspect was quickly disarmed and taken to the floor, where he was handcuffed, searched, and transported. Your swift and effective actions terminated the event, protected life and property, and took a convicted felon who was committing an armed felony into custody. This was a job well done. I am pleased with your situational awareness, multitasking, and your part in the termination of a potentially horrid event. Thank you. I am, sir, respectfully yours. Appreciate it. Senator Schaefer, thanks for making it. Sergeant Sean Gershner, letter of commendation. On 28 May 2015 at 09:28 hours, an alleged armed robbery was called in at Subway in downtown Jefferson City, Missouri. You quickly responded to the rear of the business. Subsequently, you teamed with Officer Rubio, Jeff City Police Department, and Deputy Strobel of our agency. Pursuant to Officer Rubio observing the suspect, you and Officer Strobel made entry with Officer Rubio. The rear door was unlocked. The suspect was quickly disarmed and taken to the floor, where he was handcuffed, searched, and transported. Your swift and effective actions terminated the event, protected life and property, and took a convicted felon who was committing an armed felony into custody. This was a job well done. Additionally, as a supervisory member of the Office of Sheriff's team, you excelled by recognizing the nature and complications of the call for service. I am pleased with your situational awareness, multitasking, and your part in the termination of a potentially horrid event. Thank you. I am, sir, respectfully yours, Rick Fleischer. Thank you. If you have any questions for them later, I'm sure they're willing to comment.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
thank you for your service.
Is any of them like Tackleberry from Police Academy and they're mad they didn't get?
No, they're much better.
You got a cat in a tree? Y'all probably know enough to have seen that movie. Want me to get your cat down, ma'am?
Okay. We got Christie. Renewal of the WIC contract for DHSS.
It'd be pretty disappointing after all that.
Well, I did want to recognize, we had Representative Barnes.
You can leave. Mike.
Oh, and we
He
also
wanted
had
to say
Senator
Tackleberry.
Schaefer that were here.
This is just the
Thanks,
annual
Cole.
renewal of our contract to continue to provide WIC services for our clients and the clients of the surrounding counties. You have any questions?
Jill reviewed it.
Yes, Jill did review it.
Same contract as usual. Yep. So I move that we remove the WIC contract from DHSS.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who's got the CenturyLink thing? What is that? Oh, that's your also?
What am I, the
Okay.
contractor?
Let's try it. I probably put it on the agenda, didn't I?
You did.
Oh, I knew that.
Good job, good job.
Can we skip to the, are you the Show Me Healthy Women's, can we do that one too?
Or you can do her CenturyLink when she's ready. It's up to you.
Okay, well, it don't matter.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that.
Which one? CenturyLink and Formacast Maintenance Agreement. Betsy, you're up.
This is the Informacast maintenance agreement that we do every year with CenturyLink. It's for the PA system. Jill has reviewed it.
Okay. I move we sign the CenturyLink and Formacast Maintenance Agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's a shorter one.
JCMG agreements with CCHD for Show Me Healthy Women's Services.
So when clients come in and want to have these services, we signed the contract a few months ago, mammogram and such like that, that we can't provide. We contract with JCMG to do the services, and then we reimburse them. So we're really the pass-through agency for that funding.
So we need a signature here.
Yes, please.
So I move we sign the JCMG agreement for Show Me Healthy Women's Services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, we're just moving right along.
Several originals that you'll need to sign.
Okay. Okay, okay. Let me do that. We'll, approval of assessor's office budget transfer. Chris?
After the first of the year, we had one of those unforeseen, unfortunate items happen. Our main printer, copier went out. We found out that they don't make parts for it anymore. So we entered into a contract with the company that provided us with a new printer, copier, and also added scanning capability. We have several accounts where we have to have more than one sheet of assessment, and the printer that we were currently using wasn't able to do that, so this has allowed us to take care of that in-house. And in total, this will save us about $1,000 a year. The reason that the amount was sent up was because we had been doing a monthly request to have money put over for that bill. It was recommended to me by my personal property department that we go ahead and move the whole amount over at one time so we didn't have to do this each month throughout the year. And that's about it.
So was this a purchase or?
No, it's a lease, actually. This is a brief explanation of what was done. In addition to the main printer, copier, scanner for the office, I was also provided with one for my office. Mine had gone out a couple of months previously, and at no additional charge, they provided one for me to use, and we pay for it on a per copy basis. We're allowed so many copies per month, and then if we go over that, then there's an additional charge, but I don't see any chance that we would go over that. So basically, instead of a lease situation, or a purchase situation, it's a lease situation. It also takes care of all maintenance, all toner, all parts, all labor. So the only cost we will have, other than the monthly payment, is for paper.
Well, I guess the issue that I have, Chris, is that I don't think we can do this. I mean, if we were to purchase or do something, I mean, I guess we could, but it seems
Well-
like, you know, you've gone ahead and done this, and now you're wanting us to transfer from contingency, and so,
which is what we have been doing for the last several months, except instead of the entire amount, we've just been doing the monthly payments. For the last probably 3 months, 4 months, we've transferred from contingency to cover that, but we've done it as a monthly thing. Instead of doing it every month to lessen paperwork, we decided to do it all at once, so the money would be there for the entire year.
Who was the prior agreement with on them other copiers?
That was a purchase agreement with the other one, I believe.
Okay, because I think that's kind of where the issue came in, was who signed a contract with them. I guess to pay it. We didn't know anything about it, so we was trying to figure out what the new copiers were. We're trying to get a grasp on.
I signed the
that,
lease
so-
agreement for the new copiers, or for the new copier. There are more than sufficient funds in the assessment fund to cover that, and there will be no effect on general revenue as always.
well, I realize that we have the money in contingency, but yet it wasn't, I mean,
It wasn't
Although-
budgeted because we didn't know the copier was gonna break
Right.
down,
Yeah.
or that there were no parts available for the old copier that we had. And in our office, a copier is a pretty important piece of equipment, and we had to get it replaced almost immediately.
I wish you would have come before us.
Well, like I said,
Yeah.
this is probably the 4th month into the contract, so every payment previously has been approved for this bill. It was only because we sent up to have the money moved over in one lump sum as opposed to doing it monthly, so you've approved it in the previous months.
I see that.
But since it's the larger amount for the entire year to avoid paperwork every month, that's, I guess, the reason that we're here today.
Chris, I think that the problem was when you sent up the whole transfer, we kind of then figured out that there was a new contract, and none of us had signed it. The auditor's office hadn't signed it, the commission hadn't signed it. At that point, it became obvious that there was a new lease, but none of us had seen the lease.
Okay. Evidently, I wasn't aware that it was required that everybody sign on a lease agreement.
No, I think we've gone through some of these before, that we had, the commission has to sign it and the auditor signs off, correct?
Yes.
So, what is it, 397, 497 monthly payment?
492 is a monthly payment, yes.
492.
And that saves us
Yeah.
over $1,000 over what we were paying before.
I've said it before, once y'all get the money in your budget, y'all can do pretty much whatever you want to. We don't have a whole lot of say in it, and
Yep.
it can tick us off to no end, but it's your money at times, so if you run out of money, then that's your problem. But
I
I
don't
think we
think
need to
we-
make sure it's a valid agreement is what we need to check on first off. So, we've just been trying to get a grasp on some of the, because we've got how many printers here, and we just had them come in and do a
Yeah,
presentation
yeah.
last week. So, but I'm glad it's saving us money at least. Nothing wrong with that.
Try to do that every chance we get.
well, I mean, to your point though, too, Jeff, I mean, yeah, once you get your budget approved, that's one thing, but contingency is just that for those things that are unforeseen, and those things have to come back to us to transfer out of contingency for those things, and, you know, I mean, had you come to us and said, hey, my copier's broke, I need to replace it, that's a whole different ballgame.
Okay,
Now-
evidently I wasn't aware of that.
Well, but I mean, if we didn't need to sign the contingency, or the auditor's office didn't need to sign off on it, then, you know, then we wouldn't be here today. I mean, you had that money in your budget, so.
Right.
But,
And it is in the expenditure portion of the budget, the contingency fund.
right, but it's under contingency, it's not,
But it's still there for expenditures, and we have used that for expenditures historically.
that's correct. I don't know, I just, when we get hit after the fact, you know, now we have a decision of whether we're gonna approve it or not. And so, I mean, and I don't
Well, it's done. You need the copier, so.
We've got to.
it's,
It's not
uh,
done.
There's.
Well,
There's no valid agreement,
yeah,
so it's not really done.
yeah.
But I think that's just what the point is that we need to all be on the same page. If you have something like this happen in the future, we need to know about it, and we can all be on the same page then.
Well, do you want me to contact the company and tell them to come and get the equipment? I mean, Jeff, it's the same company whose shirt you're wearing. Did you know that?
That's not their shirt. This is a chamber shirt.
Oh, I see it.
It was-
Well, it has GFI on the sleeve there.
It was a golf
That's the
shirt.
company we use because it
Can't
saved
afford
money
nice
for
stuff.
us.
I have to have the free golf shirts. Yeah,
And
no,
we
I saw
didn't,
who
you know,
was on there.
it was unforeseen because our copier broke down and we were made aware that there were no longer parts made for it. And we're saving money on toner, we're saving money on maintenance, we're saving money on parts, we're saving money on labor.
I don't disagree with any of that. We need to all be communicating about it. You know, what's
I
going on with it. So
I
when we
just
get-
wasn't aware that for every purchase I made, I needed to come and get approval
You
beforehand.
don't. You don't. But when you're taking money, when you need to take money out of contingency to pay for office supplies or a printer or something else, that's a different thing.
We've done that numerous times and I haven't come up here for approval. I mean, we can go back and pull the information if you'd like, but.
Do you not have to transfer from contingency to another item and have to send a transfer?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
don't
pretty
think
sure we do,
Yeah, we've done that and it's been approved and I don't think I've ever come up on any other of those.
right?
Debbie, we had one come up something like this a couple of years ago or something.
At least that wasn't signed by all, or?
Yeah. I mean, I know it's happened before. That's why
But
I
then
think it
we'll
would
make
kind of.
our- We'll get the contract signed by who all's supposed to be signing it.
I think we need a valid contract at this point.
Because I mean, you're not willing to sign off on this contract.
Well, right now it says that you're paying for it.
Yeah, we
So-
need a contract that's signed by the commission and the auditor's office to make it a valid contract. At that point, I'm fine with doing the transfer, but at this point, we don't have a valid contract to pay. So
So-
we can't make that payment until we get the contract revised and the correct people sign it.
So do you want me to contact them? Are you all gonna contact them? How do we wanna handle it?
I mean, I think if you can contact them since you talked to them and get the wording changed, then let's just move forward on it.
Just
So-
send
So-
a new one. like
Yeah,
that
just-
with a
yeah.
Blank signing.
So in what circumstances do I need to come to you all before we do something like this?
Anytime you're having a contract signed, any kind of agreement with another company.
A lease or
Yes.
anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a box of paper or anything, but this is a
Yeah.
contractual agreement, so.
Well, normally we bought our paper from the county commission.
And we bid it, and we have an agreement with the company that will buy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I need to contact the company and get them to send over another form for you to fill out, or for you all to sign?
If you would
Yeah.
work with Jill and get the contract to Jill. and
Okay.
then-
Yeah, I just get it worked
Get that
out.
cheap
Well,
for me.
yep.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, first reading of budget adjustment number 9.
Number 9, first reading, no action
Figured
today.
that, that's all right.
It's for $16,091.88. It's for the sheriff's department, and it's the deputy supplemental, salary supplemental funds. No action today.
I like no action.
Okay. First reading of budget adjustment number 10.
Oh, sorry. 10 is $17,900. Again, no action today. It's for the law enforcement also. It's for, actually, the arrangements they had for the purchase of those guns that would then be taken out of the employees' checks, so.
Okay.
Discussion of financial advisory agreement with WM Financial.
I guess you guys remember when Joy Howard was here, the financial lady who was willing to help us in the project for the NIP. D, sorry. For Randolph Drive. We are moving quite forward with that project. There's been lots of emails going back and forth with the bond council and people in that area. So Larry could probably talk about it more than I could, but
We've been working with Tony Stegman at Gilmore and Bell as far as setting up how they were going to set the NID up and the allocation of the fees. So it is moving forward. I know Debbie's been working with Joy on how best do the finances. So.
And I'm bringing the contract back to you guys with Joy Howard. This all has to work together with the bonding company, with everything. This really only obligates you to the $1,000, and then depending on how the placement takes place, as far as it's a private sale or if it's a public sale, the pricing with her would get different, and it is a different agreement. So we'd ask you, the commitment is there, we feel like, from the
It's gonna all be
landowners.
with the NID amount though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever the fee is. What if they don't go through with it after this first $1,000? Then basically we get that 1,000.
Yes.
Yes.
But if it goes the next step, then
Once the
they
election's
got enough
done.
skin in the game that it's
Right.
gonna.
You know, once election's done and that's voted upon with the budget in it, as long as we stay within the budget, it'll all go into the NID.
All right. So
And
what
we-
action you need?
I just need you to sign this agreement with Joy Howard so she can then finish the final figures so we can present it to the landowners. So I'd ask you to sign this contract.
So, do we have all the signatures of all the petition from the homeowners?
This is all that process, putting the petition together, is making sure everything is in place before the petition can actually be done.
So, we're gonna go through the whole process before we actually do the petition?
No, this is just the first, right, basically the last step is, as far as that. We're waiting on this, on the bonding information to be able to present the petition be brought to you then.
Kind of all has to work at the same time. Unfortunately, it can't work at the same time. We have to get this, to get the figures to the landowners so they know what they're signing up for, so to say. So, again, this part is just the 1,000, and then the other part will all get rolled into the bonding.
Do you want to say something, Larry?
I was just asking when they were looking at implementing this, because obviously this is probably gonna be billed on their tax bills. And so that involves both my office and the clerk's office.
And obviously, the construction's not done yet. It would be depending on the weather and engineering.
It depends when we finally get the petition done and get everything going. I know the landowners would like to do it as soon as possible because we're not doing snow removal in that area. So,
We have another potential NID too, don't we?
we're meeting with that group tomorrow
Okay,
night.
okay, yeah.
This year yet or next year?
As far as the NID, this NID could potentially go this year.
Yeah.
The other one, I don't foresee going this year.
I would venture to say neither one of them go this year. I mean, that would take something moving real fast.
Yeah.
And nothing would cover it that
Yeah.
fast.
Government, the wheels of government usually don't go that fast.
Because they're not gonna start construction
Well,
this
we have
year.
to complete the design first, so it's.
Yeah, right there's gonna be.
It's a small enough job that if the design was completed and everything, it could potentially go to construction this fall yet, but on the one. The other one, we're not even.
I'd bet a lot of money it don't, so. Not that
So I
quick.
guess I'm just really confused on this process because it seems like that the landowners should prepare the petition and get the signatures and come to us and say, we want to do this. What's it going to cost? And then we've got a number here, right? 445,000.
The NID, the way I understand it, and again, this is the first one we've done that since I've been director, is that it's all the county's bonding capabilities, and that's where I think Joy, her services are needed to be able to come up with that information.
I guess I still can't grasp it. I mean, you know, we did a $4 million job here last year. I mean, of course, that was sales tax and stuff, but, you know, I mean, if we go out and ask somebody, will you bond us for $500,000? I mean, I'd say we're going to get it all day long. I mean, you know, we're in good enough financial shape, so I'm not following this process that,
I think the rates are really different, whether you go out for a public sale or whether you go private for the interest rate, whether you go out for a 10-year or a 20-year. So this lets Joy come up with solutions, different alternatives for the landowners to see to see which option, you know, that they would all then vote on to agree to, then just, you know, to buy into this project. I do understand that there's one landowner that owns probably 2/3 of the land.
A good portion, I'm not sure if it's 2/3, but it's a good portion.
Yeah. And he's definitely on board.
He's on, okay.
I know it's kind of hard, but unfortunately it all has to, we have to get out a little bit ahead and put some money in it out. But I think the intentions are all there, but
I get that, but I mean, so LV's lives on a street, but he wants me to put up the money so that he can get his street paved. I mean, what's wrong with that picture? I mean, you know, let them put some skin in the game. I mean, you know, it's no skin off our back if they don't do it. I mean, they got a crappy road. But if they want the road improved, well, they get the petition put together. They come up with the money to give to Joy Howard. You know, I mean, I realize that. I mean, it seems like we're helping them a whole lot more than maybe we should. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just,
Well, once it's.
does that not seem wrong?
Once it's approved and passed, it goes on the tax bill. So it
Right.
sticks with the property until it's.
Yeah,
But-
so we're reimbursed, so we're not,
So-
Well, right,
Yeah.
but what if it doesn't go through? We're out $1,000, right?
potentially.
but they're the ones that came to us and requested it, so I think
Well,
that, I don't,
But who? I mean, what do they have to have? 70%?
It's gotta be supermajority, yes.
yeah.
So is that 2/3?
I
Close
thought
enough.
so, yeah.
So I mean, I guess that's what I'm at. I mean, you know, what if Joy presents several different options and they can't come to an agreement?
We have not contacted the landowners out there about the possibility of paying for this. If you would like us to do that, to be honest, I knew Joy was gonna do some services, but I didn't know about the fee until this time. So we can contact them and see if they're willing, like you said, put some skin in the game.
And I don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill here, but I mean, I don't really mind fronting the $1,000 if I had the signatures to go with it.
Right.
I mean, so the petition was signed off, everybody was signed on it, and we
No,
had,
the petition, that's what we're trying to put together, is to get everybody's, to do the election. But be able to get the information in there for the bonding, that's where this $1,000 comes in, is to be able to get the rates and what they're actually agreeing to. You know, they have not signed, the landowners have not signed anything at this point. And like I said, if you want us to contact them about putting up the $1,000, I don't have a problem going back to them.
I mean, I don't know, am I one of
Well,
three
if the
that doesn't really-
$1,000 is that, I mean, we're not gonna recoup that on their tax bill.
We would if it went through.
Yeah.
If it went
If it
through,
goes
it
through.
would be, so,
What we don't want to get into, and I think is what's happening to adjoining county, is that they actually got further than that. They actually had a design contract in there, and then when they went out to bid, the bids come in way high. The people didn't come back. Now, that county, I know was on the hook for even design. So, and that's what we're avoiding, or trying to avoid here.
Yeah,
There's
I-
some risk.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's where I'm at. I mean, so we're going out to have an election so what are these people gonna say, yes or no? I mean, you know,
I think you also need to think about, though, you want them to use Joy. Joy's familiar with our financials, she knows our background, she's dealt with bonding before. If you put it up to them to go out and prepare this document without her, they're gonna go to someone that doesn't know what they're doing, and we could get further into the project, and then, you know, our numbers are wrong, we didn't do this correct, it's not gonna work. I think we wanna make sure that they're using the person that we know and that knows us to do this work, and not go out and say, well, you guys need to prepare the petition on your own and go use whoever you wanna use, and come back to us once you have it prepared. I think you wanna be on the front end and make sure that they're using someone that we trust and know that she knows our finances and things like that.
Again, if you want to table it, I'll be glad to go back and talk to the landowners and see if they'd be willing to put up $1,000, Chris. You know, that way we'd have the petition, once it's signed, then it's a different story then. I'll be willing to do
I
that.
don't know, I mean, I'm looking for some feedback, I guess, from you guys, just, I mean, it just seems like, you know, if I wanted to get something done, I'd put up some of my own money to try to better my road, to get the petition done, then to bring it to the county and say, okay, here, we've got all this stuff done, the petition's written, we've got the signatures, we're ready to go. You know, we're signing an agreement that says we're gonna pay for the engineering and the construction costs and all this stuff. And, you know, if, so, I mean, they can't back out at that point, right? I mean, I don't know, what do you guys think?
Well, they approached us, so I think it's probably going to go through. I think they've devoted a lot of thought and a lot of time and talked to all their neighbors and stuff. So I think NIDs are a good way to improve the roads out in the county. I don't have any problem with tabling it and letting you go back and ask them, you know, if
Yeah,
they
I'm
would
glad to do
if
that,
they would
yeah.
do that. But I think we need to. I want to support it as much as I can. I think it's
Let me contact them.
it's a
If you
good
put-
it's good for both of us.
Yeah, if you can put me on the next agenda, I can get it done quickly, so.
I mean, I support it too. I'm not trying to put it, but it just seems like, you know, like I said, if I wanted my road paved or my road upgraded, that I needed to have all this stuff done and kind of signed and everything else before I come to the county to jump through hoops to get all this stuff done. But I don't know, Jeff, what do you think?
You're just doing the east side of Randall, the other one's already.
That's
Yeah,
already in the
yeah.
east side, yes. And it's
Yeah.
only a portion of Randall, it only goes back to the paved part of the street. The rest of it's gravel, and those landowners want to leave it that way.
So about where it's, I don't know, there's a dozen houses that end there, and then it gets to about 3 acre lots. That's where it's
Yes.
gonna end. So-
Right, you can pretty well, if you're on GIS, you can see it.
And we don't maintain any of it
No,
right
we,
now.
at the present time, we don't maintain any of it.
I don't disagree with Chris that, you know, if they wanna do it, they need to put the $1,000 up, otherwise we end up eating it. But
Okay.
I'd be glad to help them any way we can. I mean, we gave them kind of some preliminary engineering designs
Right.
already, didn't we? So that right there would probably save them a little bit. Is that gonna cause a problem with them? 'Cause every time it comes down to it.
I don't think so. Like I said, let me talk to the landowners out there and get back to you.
I'm good with that.
When's your next, do you have a commission agenda
Next Tuesday.
Tuesday.
next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday, yeah.
That'll give me plenty of time to get with them and get commitment, maybe possibly even a check. I'm assuming that if they're willing, just have it made out to Cole County and we'd still sign the agreement with Joy?
I think we'd have to.
Okay.
Either that or we pay for it and then we just attach it to their taxes right away. Say, here it is, it's yours no matter what.
Well-
I don't think we can do that, but let me do some legwork and I'll get back to you next Tuesday. If you can put me on the agenda, I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the $1,000 probably doesn't bother me as much if I had an agreement from them that said that, yes, I'm willing to go forward, and I realize that there's gonna be some costs involved, and we had that 2/3 supermajority, so.
Okay. Good enough.
I would bet you're going to be back for us next week anyway. So.
Thanks.
Thank you. Lower Bottom Road, engineering proposal.
He's sitting out there where he's safe.
Come on in here where we can throw darts at you.
So,
As you all are aware, with the rainfall that occurred a couple weeks ago, we had one of our roads fail, Lower Bottom Road. It's what we feel, at least from walking the site and everything, that it's a slide occurring. What we would like to do, with your permission, is I brought a contract to be able to hire Gradell Engineering Resources to be able to do the geotechnical work, do some drilling to see what we've got. Underneath there, it's set up as a not to exceed contract, so if we get through the drilling and it appears to be something that we can handle in-house relatively easily, we'll stop their contract at that point, or maybe use them as far as testing and stuff. But if it's something that's going to be beyond our resources as far as the amount of work, or if it's requiring the hauling in of a lot of shot rock, which would cause us not to get other projects done, then we may be back to you about as far as contracting this out to a private contractor. The contract that we have brought before you is for $48,700. And like I said, it's a not to exceed. It'd be on an hourly basis to proceed forward with it. We'd like to, if you agree, start drilling in the very near future, because it continues to slide. So if you got any questions, I asked Bruce to come here to, this is Bruce Dawson. Bruce has been associated with the county work in the past. He's an excellent geotechnical engineer that we've relied on in the past. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Bruce. If you have any questions of him.
Yeah, I'd field questions now. I think Larry's pretty well covered the issues.
I mean, is it,
The proposal that we have includes complete design, which would get you to basically a biddable set of documents. But I feel like there's a pretty good possibility that once we get the investigation complete and really understand the mechanics of what's going on, that we'll see some other options, which would either be self-perform or maybe engage a design-build specialty contractor directly to basically finish the design in consultation with that firm. Any of those options can reduce that total cost of Gradell's contract. May shift some cost to another entity, but it could reduce our total cost, and it could allow the project to proceed a little quicker.
so as we're doing those investigations, I mean, are we able to, is it stable right now, or is it, we got other parts of the road sliding? I mean,
It's just, it's all, the slide right now is all occurring in that area. It's, we're not seeing any other movement any other place. I think, you know, in looking at it and based on my experience as well as what Bruce has, I think it's just a pocket right here, whether it's a rock shelf that's coming out that's feeding water to the bottom of this slide or what. But it's, you know, I don't think we're going to see it on the remainder of the road or in other locations at this point. We're not seeing any indication of that.
I was just concerned that it might move even more so and tear up even more of the road if it's totally sliding, but.
Well, that's the issue right now. You know, it's developed far enough now to where any rainfall that's coming down is going down into the fissures, which is accelerating the failure. It's just giving it a lubricant to be able to slide quicker down the road. So the more rain we get, you know, probably the more displacement we're going to see until it gets that toe of that slope, enough material down there to stabilize itself and hold up the remainder of the material. It's trying to seek equilibrium right now. That's why it's moving. We think it might have been from the rainfall loading, possibly with the high water down there in the creek, saturating those soils, and then they dissipated fairly quickly, where the soils were unable to get rid of the moisture, which added more weight to that failure. I think that's what started the whole process. It was all key to the rainfall and how quickly it came 2 weeks ago.
So is there something we can do so this doesn't happen again? I mean, I don't know if that's possible, but.
That's essentially our goal, is
yeah.
to understand the soil mechanics of this situation so that we can design a fix that eliminates this
Yeah.
problem. And as Larry was saying, it really looks like the failure started at the creek and, I don't want to say worked its way uphill, but essentially when the failure moved at the creek, it allowed other portions of soil to move downhill also, basically chased the first slide started at the creek, and then the upper ones, probably two others, chased that first one down towards the creek. So it has involved a large area of land that's, you might expect this thing to be 50 to 100 feet wide in a one slide situation, but with 2 or 3 involved, it looks like it could be 200 to 250 feet wide. And right now, it's about 200 feet long along the roadway. It does appear to be buttressed on north and the south by some existing ridges that project out into the bottom. So there may be some good confining strata on either end that will, help us to feel more comfortable about the long-term definition of the limits of this thing.
So, so the more you talk, the more questions I got, Bruce, but.
Yeah, that's okay. That's good. That's good.
That's why we're here.
But so, I mean, so when you say 200 feet wide, I mean, is that outside of our easement and stuff?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, yes.
so we're gonna have
It's
to
all right away.
engage
Yes.
property
Right.
owners and
I've
stuff and.
I've been in contact with the property owner down there when it first started. I asked him if we could possibly get a construction easement to be able to get out there on his property to get this corrected, and he's more than willing to work with us.
Okay.
That's got to impact him.
Well, it does. The landowner that it's on his property, he's basically got to go all the way back to the south and come out down St. Thomas, where he used to have probably 3/10, 4/10 of a mile, and he's back out on Route B, so he's having to go all the way back around.
Yeah.
I talked to Dr. Jones today at our meeting earlier, and it is going to affect Wardsville School District. They're going to basically have to run down on both sides, turn the bus around, and then go back out. So, and I advised him that we don't know when it's going to be fixed.
I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, school
We're
will be
meeting
starting
with-
here quicker than.
As you all know, we are meeting with representatives of FEMA and SEMA Friday. We're going to take them out, show them these areas. They're working with FEMA to see about possible declaration for the state, and we would be part of that at this point.
Yeah, Senator Blunt's office called me last Wednesday, and then Senator Kehoe was in my store yesterday, and we've got a lot of people willing to help us. So
As you all know, this wasn't the only place we suffered damage to our roads. We had several of them. Millbrook was removed the pavement off of it, and we've got it temporarily fixed. We had several other roads where it washed out shoulders and stuff where it went across the roads that we haven't seen in the past, or not since 93 or 95. So. But until we really understand what's down beneath there, we're kind of at a standstill. We could go ahead and start taking material out, but until you see the whole picture, you may or may not be correcting the problem. And that's what we don't want to do, is put more money into it and still not correct the problem.
yeah, if we don't do it right, this could happen again in
Yeah.
a year, 2
Exactly.
years, 3 years.
Yes.
Are we going to do any engineering on Millbrook and Meadows Ford?
No, those are just projects we've already done temporary repairs and we can
Yeah,
fix.
You got some of it fixed?
Yeah.
I was just going to see if we could get like a 3
Well,
for
like
1
Mill-
deal or something.
Like,
'Cause those didn't look good either.
well, like Millbrook, what we need to do, this is the only time that it's gone over at Millbrook before. We're not real sure what caused it. It might have been just the rapid rise of the stream and debris, but we'll be looking at doing something similar to what we've done on Meadows Ford, where we've got the concrete aprons on both sides of the road to keep it from getting underneath the pavement. And that's what we'll be doing down there on Millbrook to hopefully alleviate that situation from occurring again. So we lost pavement similar to that one other time on Meadows Ford, and Meadows Ford and Scrivener Road. When we put the concrete aprons on both sides of the road, that seems to take care of the issue. We'll be doing that as time permits. So, but we had a lot of washouts, and that's what we're going to be meeting with FEMA and SEMA. Is taking them out and showing them all these areas that we had to go back in, regrade, and put rock back down.
Guys have done a good job.
Thank you. Any other questions?
We gotta have approval of the contract.
Pardon?
Do we have to have approval of the contract? Is that what
I
it is?
have it here with me, yes. Like I said, if it's agreeable to you all, we'd like to move forward on this. We've tentatively got the contract, or subcontractor as far as the drilling on schedule right now. I think maybe
Yeah,
possibly.
his schedule's probably slipped with more rain last week, but we need to get him tied down until we can commit to him. He can't commit to us on a schedule, so we talked to him last Tuesday and got him tied down for late this week, but his schedule slipped some more last week as it continued to rain.
Jill has reviewed the contract and said it's acceptable, so
Not to exceed 48.7?
48.7, yes.
Okay.
It'd be on an hourly basis, not to exceed 48.7.
So then if FEMA comes in and they declare disaster.
If we get a declaration, we could possibly get up to 75% from FEMA.
How
to-
soon?
In
Where
the
we're gonna pull
past,
this money from, because we're looking at,
yeah. Well,
a lot of
this,
money right now.
I talked with Christian and Debbie this morning. What we're proposing to do at this time, just so we can find out what we've got going, is pull this out of our contingency in 211 to get it going. In the past, it's taken a considerable amount of time to get reimbursed from FEMA.
yeah, with that ice storm, it took us a while too.
Right.
But we did get some of
We've
that back.
done, since I've been director, I think 3 anyhow, declarations. We've actually implemented record keeping that we do all the time, not just during storm events, to be able to assist us to be able to get the information back to FEMA in the format that they need. We actually have the guys doing daily timesheets with equipment so we can get reimbursed for our equipment time, material, their time. I'm not saying we're old hands at it, but we at least, we're not, this isn't the first time that we've had to go through the whole issue with FEMA.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have any more questions. I mean, it is what it is, unfortunately.
No.
Y'all got any extra money in sheriff's department? Clerks? Y'all got-
Vector's fun.
Yeah, how much you got left there, Larry? Might not get that new car.
Not nearly as much as you need.
So I move we approve and sign the contract with Gradell Engineering.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is Bagel Drive stormwater yours too?
Actually, it's Eric's.
Oh, it's Eric's. Why don't we do that and we'll save the circuit clerks for last.
Hey, Eric.
Hey,
Go ahead
Eric,
and
we're
do
gonna go
that
ahead
now.
and do your
We'll get
Bagnell
y'all
Drive
done.
stormwater and then we'll do,
Can you set that closer to it?
You all should have.
It's attached to it.
This is something with the new contractor that we haven't been work with. I get a list of projects and references and did that. But this is the Bagnell Drive Stormwater Improvements Project. We opened bids Friday. I wanted to move this along, get it awarded as soon as possible because the contractor's ready to start. Would like to start as soon as he can get out there and get everything, all the paperwork approved. But Travis Hodge Hauling is the low bidder. Visited with him yesterday and he's comfortable with his bid. I think he, along with other contractors now, are looking for some work, and he was in need of some work and bid it to get it. And so he's very, very satisfied with his bid. Talked to 2 references and they were both very positive. He's from down around the lake area and does a lot of work down there. If you look at the bid tabs, there is, just to point out, actually everything tracked pretty good. Where he's low, it's a lot of, I would say, items that probably shouldn't have needed to cost that much, and he bid it probably pretty good, whereas the other contractors, I think, were a little high. One item to note is number 28, the Scour Protection and Turf Reinforcement Mat. This one's all over the board, and there was a little, I think on the plans, a little bit of miscommunication of exactly what that was. And
And so what I'm gonna do is underrun that and redo that. So the easiest way, and contractually, and by the MoDOT specifications, which we use, the best way to handle that is to work that out after the contract's awarded. But I'm very comfortable with this. Like I said, he's a younger guy, kind of, getting going in the business, and the two contractors that I talked to, or the two references that I talked to, highly recommended him and said that he's really easy to work with and will do a good job. So I'm comfortable with it and would recommend that the commission approve this contract and award it to Travis Hodge Hauling. Is there any questions?
I was just reviewing the bid tab here.
So you might have a change order later on for the scour protection?
No, we would ideally just work it into the contract to where there's no additional cost. I think we can do that, and actually I might just go with rock lining, the riprap, instead of the scour protection.
Okay.
Which
It
is,
was all over the board,
Yeah, it's-
$12 to $110.
yeah, and
Square yard.
I look back at other jobs, and we had the same thing happen on another job once, but I didn't pay that close attention to it because the low bidder had it bid closer to what it was estimated at, so. It's a little bit of a new thing, without going into too much detail. It's kind of an alternate to riprap in a subdivision area.
Even without that on there, they'd still be the lowest by
Oh, yeah.
far, so
Yeah, they're
I don't have a problem with
They're
it.
definitely low, and actually, everything tracks pretty good, with what I expected on most of the bid items, and like I said, he was lower in some areas that, is definitely explainable why he was lower, than the next low. So there's really nothing out of the ordinary here, and when I did my estimate, I kinda anticipated, short time frame, bad time to be bidding, anticipated a little bit higher cost, which everything tracked pretty good except for his bid, which, he bid it because he wanted to get the work, so.
So I don't really have a problem here, but I just, looking at this bid tab, you got FurCon on here twice, where
Yeah,
they
that's
submit
not
two
true.
bids? Or is that a typo?
That's typo. I'll get that fixed when I post it on the internet.
So it was somebody else?
Yeah. That would be GWH Landscape Contracting LLC, Greg Human. That's the $208,000 bid.
Okay, well, you just need you need an award, you need a signature, you need
Yes,
what?
that's all I need.
Just an award?
Award and contract signature.
You do have contracts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I move we award and sign the contract with Travis Hodge Hauling for the Bagnell Stormwater. Is that correct?
Yes.
Bagnell Drive Stormwater Improvements.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Now, discussion of circuit clerk's office remodeling.
Did we invite Donnell up here at all?
It's Danielle. It's not Donnell.
Donnell
It's-
Davidson?
This is a probate, is it not?
Yeah, but Donnell's the one in charge of all that over there. Well, the probate, I don't know if y'all want to talk to her and see what she's wanting to do. I went over and looked at it the other day. She mentioned it a while back when they were redoing the jury room. They got that front office for probate. It's full of files and everything. That back office is only accessible through the jury room or through that office. They were talking about taking that wall down and having one big office. When I talked to Donnell, I thought it would make more sense, leave that door there and the wall there and just move the office back there, and then they can put a table in there for her to work with the clients. She seemed to think that'd be better though with taking the wall out. I said, I really don't care, that's your area over there to use, but you won't be able to use it for anything else, so if you take that out. So, I don't know if y'all wanna go over and talk to her and see what she's wanting to do.
I went and looked at it yesterday too. I had Greg show it to me. And I just thought move the file, move that office back there and use that door that exists to go back to it. But I think, we're looking at some different things for expansion and you hate to spend money on that, and then here next year or 2 years, we end up adding on or doing something, and it's gonna cost a lot of money to take that wall down, and
That wall, that's a temporary wall.
Yeah.
It can come down pretty easy. Problem is, we're gonna be covering up brand new floors.
yeah.
We're gonna have to patch some, little bit of sheetrock and stuff. The electrical should be minimal, if anything, to pull it up and out of there. I don't think we'll have to do much with the ceiling, if anything. They'll pay for the flooring, so.
Well, if she wants to pay for all of it, I'm okay with it, but if I gotta pay for any of it, my vote's no, so.
Yeah, those offices are bigger than your offices.
Yeah.
That's-
So, yep, she's got money to pay for it all, that's great. Let her do
So
it,
what is
but.
she doing? I'm confused.
You got the probate office is up
next to
front.
the jury room?
You got the big jury room sits here like this, and then the probate room, and then there's another office that has a door that goes into the jury room and a door that goes into the probate office.
Which is not
This
being
one's-
used now.
So they wanna take that office out?
They got somebody in there scanning documents or something. They do have files set
But
down
that
there,
back
so
office isn't.
They want to take that middle wall out between the probate office and that back office. Which the reason she's wanting to do that is so that they don't have to have people sitting outside waiting or working with them out there. She can be working at her desk while,
I will say, I worked with Deanna from probate, went for 21-day psychiatric commitments. She does the 48-hour or 96-hour holds herself, and they have family members and people associated with the person they're trying to commit. Those are the clients that come in and see her a lot. And they felt they needed an open space because sometimes these people are, I don't know, for security reasons, I'll just put it that way. Rather than.
There would be more
track
privacy
back.
if they would keep that wall up, and she would
Well-
just move her office to that back office.
But this is what Donnell was discussing, and I'm assuming she knows what she's talking about, the Deanna Sneeds. But at any rate, I don't know if anybody told her you were gonna discuss this. But whatever. Anyway, I just wanna put in my 2 cents because I've been around the clients that Deanna sees.
well, maybe we'll add it to next week's agenda and have Donnell come down, or
That's
Donnell
fine.
and Deanna or whoever. But it's Donnell's call on it the way out for her. If she wants to use it for one big office and she wants to pay for moving stuff around. It doesn't make as much sense to me, but I'm not over there every day in the probate division.
She was
Luckily.
on the list that she got the agenda, so she knew we were talking. Did I first one call her? No.
If she wants to come talk to us about it, I mean, I'm not saying I'm dead set against it, but we got a lot of other things that we need to spend money on, and that's not one of them. So, but if she wants to give us back her money for microfilming or something, we could spend it on that, so. Get you fired up, Jeff.
Why don't you just bring up surtax too already? Hey, I don't want to be the only person walking out here.
Okay.
Jim and I had a nice conversation. About cooperation. Seriously?
Yeah, I'm glad that's behind us.
Ask her
Years
to,
from now.
Okay, is that it?
that's it.
So, we passed some emails about this
I,
manufacturing, and then you had another one on
Yeah, this came in.
child cancer awareness or something. Have we gotten anywhere on any of that? I mean,
If we don't have anybody up here to accept them, then are you not wanting to do it, or? what is-
well, you hate to make up a proclamation. If we're gonna do an actual proclamation and print it, and like what we gave to the Special Learning Center, we framed and everything. Yeah, you've got to have somebody to receive them. Now, we can proclaim July, this one's October.
Childhood cancer.
Yeah, you
awareness
can,
month is
we can
August
just
or
proclaim it
September.
that and not do any proclamations, and, it doesn't.
mean, I guess if we're going to do that, I mean, how do people know that it's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month? Is there something that we could, put a yellow ribbon on an oak tree or whatever and call it Childhood Cancer Awareness Month or what? I mean, if we do it up here, I mean, the press will handle it and it'll be one day and that's gone.
Oh, you can get me started on that too.
My-
I think
my-
everybody's aware of cancer right now.
Right. My only problem is that when we receive these, is that somebody's in an office just sending stuff out to all these counties and municipalities and governments and saying, "Oh, proclaim this," whatever. And we don't even know who these organizations are, and they're wanting us to proclaim all this stuff, and it's like, well, if it's tied to a local organization or, if we want to. I mean, I hate to pick somebody out, but I mean, Manufacturers Day. I mean, I don't mind if we go to a local manufacturer and
Right.
and have a presentation there. But we're picking one. But maybe we say we're thankful for the manufacturers in our community, and we just pick one. That we maybe give a proclamation to. But like I said, it's kind of singling somebody out.
Well, once we start doing it, we're probably going to get more requests there. We could end up just take one whole day and just go around and give proclamations to people.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Or we have the chamber reach out to some of our manufacturers here in town, and we bring them up here and we do it, and we say we're celebrating Manufacturers Day or month or whatever, and have these people here to
No, you can just
Tell
have
'em.
them come in like our shooting team and just recognize.
Yeah,
just have them
exactly.
do that and not.
This one said they work locally with Community Health Center, so we can maybe reach out to them and see what they know about them. St. Mary's.
Is that the childhood cancer?
We could invite them
Kids
just to
can
come and put
answer-
them
kids
put them at the very
cancer
beginning of the agenda and
Everything.
recognize them and
'Cause
proclaim
that's
it.
what we don't know if they're legitimate either. If we proclaim them and then all of a sudden they're ripping everybody off when you make a donation, it's gonna make us look stupid as hell.
that was more my fear than
Yeah.
anything else. I mean, because it could be an organization that's fully staffed that gives nothing for cancer research, but it's just a bunch. Well,
I don't think we'll do
whatever.
National Pedophile Month or anything like that, but
Say, "Yep, push 'em."
So, I mean, if we want to do something with that organization I'm good with that. But I mean, maybe we ought to at least reach out to them and see if they even know who we're talking about.
Community health, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
Okay. Well, let's take them.
But I mean, I'm
per,
all,
a
I'm all
request
for
per request. And
I'm
just
all
see
for
if-
doing this, but I don't want to send something to. I mean, I don't even know who Missouri
It's out.
Enterprise
It's out
is.
of Rolla. The address is out of
Right.
Rolla. The
But there again,
envelope was St. Louis, was postmarked St.
Yeah.
Louis. Everything's postmarked St. Louis.
Right. So.
I don't think it's a bad idea. Run that by Chamber, Randy, or somebody. Sean does existing businesses.
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
we'll talk to them, see if they want to have a get together.
Or if they have a round table or something where they have a bunch of manufacturers at it, that we could go and say, and then present something. We could have a blanket one that just, celebrates Manufacturers Day and present those to some of the local manufacturers.
Might not be bad. Let the chamber kind of help us on that. Yeah.
Anyway, but I just.
Anything else?
So, I know 4-H was up here, but that 4-H auction, livestock auction, is the 29th, and that ham and
Ham.
bacon breakfast is the 31st.
Yeah. I think we
So-
always serve.
Do we? I don't
I
think
served.
we serve at that.
I served last
No, we
year.
don't serve at them.
Yeah.
We serve at the prayer breakfast.
Yeah.
No, I ended up serving last year, but
You're a sucker.
I served at the sheriff's barbecue too. So
That's the July 31st.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's coming quick. So
Yeah.
that'd be the ham breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're calling it
Where they going?
ham and bacon breakfast. So
Where Where are they having that at this year?
Farm Bureau.
Yeah. And then Saturday is Piccadilly and White for the downtown.
And so the presiding commissioner always buys the Grand Champion ham and pays whatever.
It seemed like I was there last year, and I don't remember Mark. I don't remember Mark buying. I tried to buy. I ended up buying. I think I got a ham out of Wardsville. It was,
I'm just messing with you.
I know. I heard it was Western Commission. Yeah.
So is Dent County still on the map? You heard what they're doing? They voted to lower their flags to half-staff for a year to mourn the passing of same-sex marriage.
I saw that.
I was wondering, it's gonna be like Skittles going to war with the South. There's a lot of interesting stuff on the news these days. There's more Republican candidates for president than there are voters.
Also for governor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good too. You throw your head in, Sam?
No.
You're good at volunteering other people, dude. I thought I'd volunteer you for it. Because then you volunteered the taping to the wall for me.
No, that was no.
Blame that on him.
I would like to request a proclamation that the collector's office is better than the clerk's office.
Oh, Steve, what'd you do to get him involved?
I'll pay for that out of the collector's office.
That's the reason I have no problem doing proclamations. It cost us nothing.
Okay.
Paper.
Paper. That's
Paper
right.
and print.
We still have the press here, you know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to think Michelle Wright's very nice. She's. Do we have anything else?
Not of any substance.
Motion to recess till 4:30.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You all were entertained today.
Aye. Let's see.
That
That one's yours.